Requesting a material drop for the designated point, please.
Alright, see what we're looking at here, though. Ugh.
Yes, let's keep it going.
Oh, Fat Uncle this time. They really have been throwing out the Bulldog for me on both accounts lately.
Keep it going. Go, go, go. Yes.
And I'm, oh god, I'm level 3. RD2-3, but...
Go, go. Yes, let's keep it going. Go, go. Yes, let's keep it going. Go, go, go.
Oh! Out of a Medea! Well, we got the Delta Gundam now.
Yes, let's keep it.
Was that like the second to last one? Let me see.
Yes, let's keep it going.
No, third.
You're so
And then the other Shiki Kai. Okay, I'll take that other Shiki Kai, although normally we don't use that. We had the Toads already, so.
going.
But we got fancy sunglasses.
Bonanza.
Well, shit, I guess I have a video to do before we do clans. So what's going on, everybody? Goose has the 13th here with another suit review, as we've actually got the Delta Gundam. Once again, a little bit late, and once again on our alt account. But this is a 600 cost support. Transformable, by the way, neat little bastard. And let's check out some of its weapons. So the main weapon and the melee are both unique to the suit itself. Delta Beam Rifle, which is 2300 power, ammo 3, range of 550. Reload time is not too bad, cooldown times at 5.5. One thing to keep in mind is that you do have combo controller for the saber itself. We'll get into all that in a little bit though. Of course, because this is a transformable, however, keep in mind that we had no compatibility and it does have melee priority 1. A little bit rough, but you know, kind of is what it is, support tax and all that good stuff. And we'll be kind of talking about that a little bit more as well. But here's something, and right off the bat we have something called the DG Beam Rifle, which is the alt shot for this, which is the rapid. So it can stun. It's a little bit rough as a follow-up weapon sometimes, to be honest though. Although it could do worse, especially since it does ultimately have a decent amount of range at 400. That being said, I think out of the 3 main like big hitters here, because we also have the shield beam here. Oh, actually that's something I didn't note. Both of these are at 400. So technically your longest range thing is just the BR itself, which is a little odd, to be honest, because this is just a straight 2-hit stun. Like, it's actually pretty potent, but they make it a little bit stumpier. And to be honest, when we get into it a little bit more, I would say this is like some of your bigger output for the times 2. And it also has the slowest startup. So you would actually want to lead in with this, maybe do this, and then burst out with that, and then back off a little bit. That being said, the MK Enhanced Head Vulcan's not bad. I don't know if they're like on Type 2 Vulcan level, but they do have a decent stun threshold and they do fire out very well, or very quickly. On the shield beam gun here at 1000 per hit and 80% heat rate. That being said, the cooldown on this means that you have to try pretty hard, especially if you're not cycling the other weapons as well, to overheat this. Definitely try to keep that up as much as possible. This is ammo based. Both of these actually are, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much. This is the only main heat based thing on this suit. Shield's a large shield, so 3500 on that. Nothing super crazy. If we go down these stats here, we have 14,000 health. Ballistic resistance is 15. Beam resistance is 31. Melee resistance is 20. Range strength is 40 right out of the gate. Melee strength is 30, movement speed is 120, top speed is 195, thruster gauge is 65, and turning speed is 66. We got part slottage here with close range being at 13, medium range being at 16, and long range being at 16 as well. So pretty decent, balanced around the board for that. Going down the skill list, we have High Performance Radar level 2, Observational Data Link level 1, Scout Parallel Processing Device level 1, High Performance Aerospace Gimbal. So even though it doesn't have the space compatibility, it does have some inclinations towards space, so it can break its back to try to hit targets and stuff, which is nice. Flight Control Program level 2, Glide Structure level 3, so this motherfucker is floaty. This can work in your favor depending on if you're trying to escape or trying to line up a shot before you land, and at least to try to save yourself from getting nailed when you're trying to come out of your MA mode. But it also can work to your disadvantage if you do get shot out of the sky, because you're going to be up there longer and people are going to air combo you to hell and back. High Performance Balancer level 1, High Spec Ambac level 2, Force Injector level 2, Melee Combo Controller level 1, which is neat. Keep in mind though that you still only have that one priority. Shield Tackle level 1, Transformation Flight, so not a lot of crazy stuff going on with this. Technically, if it wasn't for a certain other skill that we're going to talk about, it would be pretty easy for you to get slot out of the sky. Special Wing Cushioning, which in this mode, I guess it's just the backbinders in general, but level 2, 15, not bad. And then here's the kicker. Here's the big boy skill that we haven't had on anything else yet. And it is Anti-Beam Coating, something you think that the regular Shiki would have had already. And funny enough, it did not retroactively get it because this exists. So it reduces HP damage from ranged beam attacks by 25% and reduces reactions. However, and this is a very big however, damage and reaction reduction ceases when HP falls below 50% and your anti-beam armor is reduced to 0. So that natural 31 beam, gone. Second you hit half health. That being said, with support tax being what it is, typically if you're getting piled on and you're losing that much, you're probably dying already. But unfortunately, that also means that you're dying faster. And in some cases, a good scenario would probably be a map that has a little bit more of a back and forth shooty thing, maybe the city map or impact site where you have a really big area in mid. If you're losing the gunfight and you get to 50 health, good luck. There's going to be anything with any kind of blast down is going to slant the shit out of you, especially at this cost, because 600 cost is a lot of beam heavy stuff. That being said, in this transformation, we don't really have a lot of bracing in terms of keeping you up in the air. And the main reason for that, as we saw, is because anti-beam coating has that reduction to reactions. So they didn't want to pile that up on top of it, although to be honest, that kind of feels like more support tax. I kind of wish they would have given you a little bit of something, because the transform flight, not great. Not a lot of stabilization in here. You have anti-blast at least still on here, because that'd be kind of weird. But outside of that, the bigger thing for the transformation is that you actually have emergency evasion system. So you can roll in your transformation, but you cannot roll in your base form. Please keep that in mind. But at the very least, you can get some iframes, you can get a little bit of extra distance before you fully fold out, so hopefully you can use that to your advantage to escape. Going to the enhancement list real quick. Let's say we got shield structure for the first one, expansion slots the second one. Anti-beam armor reinforcement, which is hilarious to me that they would even let you tick that up considering that skill, is at 3. Extra range modifier, more shield structure in the first unlock slot, and then more range modifier in the last one, because let's be honest, you're going to be hoping that you can just dump as much damage as possible in this thing. Some people that I talked to have akin this to being essentially a support camper at 600, just because you're dumping your damage, you're doing your cycle, and then you're just piecing the fuck out and then trying it again once people, once the heat's off. But we will show this off in training a little bit, just so you can see the general gist of the weapons and stuff. So let us get on over to it.
Ready to begin?
Oh, baby. Alright, so let's check this out a little bit. So the main gun, not too bad. As you can see that, that shield beam a little bit slow, but the combo, not too bad. You're doing decent melee damage on these guys, especially if you had type advantage. Things with damage control take a little bit of an extra burst to get through their resistances, but you can chunk pretty well and get a stun with that burst down on the secondary fire for the rifle. That being said, as you can see, the hit on there, not super great. Something you should definitely keep in mind as well here is that although it seems like it's doing a decent amount on that burst down here, everyone's going to be having anti-beam more than likely on them. Something else to keep in mind, as you can see there, is that this shield, the shield weapon, although it is an instance done in its regular form, The transformation actually makes it do burst down.
Weak to the other categories.
So that's a little unfortunate. At least to me. I would prefer it to just be another stun. I'm gonna be honest with you, I mostly just wanted this suit to be a, like, a yellow, Roselle. Just in terms of its, weapon loop. Also, let's check out the, I don't know if that would be a really good one. We'll do it with this.
Sword-type mobile suits possess
So the Vulcan's decent firing range. I'd almost say it's something more akin to the, Vulcan pod in terms of speed.
from a position.
And you can get a stun out there pretty quickly, as you can see. Definitely not bad output at all. Of course, we'll show off that roll as well. Woo! A little bit of distance. Nice the way that it tucks in. And I don't know if we can really reliably show off the resistance for the coating here.
During ground battles, damaging or destroying a mobile suit's legs can
Actually, you might be good. Here, hit me.
handful of damage and strain.
So if you notice, oh god.
This damage shouldn't affect the enemies.
But that stun that he tried to do to me earlier, it didn't go through. Not bad. These guys are all just shagging at me with their melee. Stop fucking around! I have my gun out too. Like, what are you guys doing? No, don't come in. No. Stop it. Get some help. Work with me here. No, don't do that. Oh my god. Nope. They're being a little stupid. I don't know why they're all doing melee. It's a little upsetting. Ugh. Shoot me, bitch! Ow! Like that. So actually, that's something that's interesting. And I'm assuming that's mostly just because it was a multi-hit bit. But now I'm under 50. Now anything that they hit me with in terms of beam-based stuff is gonna be nasty, except that they don't want to. You guys are getting on my nerves. Come on, work with me. Oh! Yeah, like that. That sucked. And that's neutral damage, but oof. Essentially, keep an eye out for anything that has a lot of range boost, or burst down that's a raid. There's a really good video. There's a clip on Twitter that I found a while back where someone actually got hit to 50 and then a Hambrabi found them, transformed, did its burst down, and it just melted. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I really should have turned 10 off, by the way. Sorry about that. She's just not shutting up. She talks too much. But we're gonna do one more thing before we move on over to our usual match to show off this thing, and that is going to be checking out the brace bust down on this suit. Actually, before I do that, I want to see something. So boom. So one thing to keep in mind, I think I want to say right here. So here it's actually heated out, and then it's actually back. So I don't know if they justified that by having it be a secondary firing mode, but yeah, the shield does come back when you transform. It's just in a different firing mode when you do it. The other stuff's ammo based, so that's not super relevant. All right, so we're here at the base. Let's see what kind of damage we can do here. The burst from the secondary burst from the weapon, not bad, I guess. In general, you have a lot of things to cycle through. Obviously you're gonna have some more weapon mod on this, but in general, not super crazy, to be honest. You could also get some of this action in there if you wanted to just cross that over. And of course you got a lot of floatiness, so you can just redirect yourself pretty easily. That being said, as the support, I would kind of hope that you would have at least a little bit, well, it would help if I didn't miss that shot, that you would have a little bit more potency against this thing, but this definitely just does seem like a very anti-mobile suit hit and run kind of support. So that main gun's doing some good chunkage, and assuming that you're not the only thing shooting at this fucking ship, you should be alright. There's one more thing I wanted to check, mostly because I feel like I saw it. I don't think I really saw any indicator on the weapon itself. But let me try something. I don't think the main beam gun is, but we can test that too. No. But I want to say No, actually both of them. I was kind of hoping that was piercing. Hold on a second. Maybe in this mode? No. Okay, well that's a bit of a shame, but you know, it is what it is. The other thing to keep in mind is that there's not going to be any other crazy property changes in terms of the weapon types and stuff on this, because none of these charge. These are all just pull the trigger and that's it. But overall, not the worst thing ever. Definitely not something I would run super often on a personal level, mostly just because I don't tend to do supports that much. But we did get an okay match in this that we are going to show in terms of just like raw gameplay right around here. Watch these. Mostly just because I tend to hover for X anyway.
Feel free to make any final preparations as the team is.
Oh my god. Why are there so many supports? What is this team? What's happening here? Oh, y'all are getting weird. There we go. That being said, pretty shooty team. Oh, are we contesting the raid spot, or are we just gonna double up here? That being said, depending on what Eden's running for their main gun, they'll have stuns, but it might take them a second to close in compared to Hambrabi, who's just gonna like float in there and just heavy stagger someone and slap the shit out of them. So it might be nice to have too. It just kind of depends on what the enemy team's actually running, though.
That's it. We're off to the battlefield.
Also, a favorited gold badged Masala, so he does it specifically at this cost. Oh boy.
The battlefield is dead ahead. Sorry.
Let's see how this one turns out, though. Alright.
Here we go. Commence operation.
Another round. That's a little strange. So immediately they got someone near B. But I'm assuming it's only them?
The enemy's captured a beacon.
Yeah, he's just crouched up. Just chilling out.
Picking up an
What you doing,
SOS
my guy?
ally.
How did I miss that? Oh, that's upsetting. Oh.
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
Yeah, I don't really have any good targets here. Where'd the rest of them go? Are they contesting on the other side? Oh god, they didn't come with us. You gotta be shitting me.
An ally has destroyed. Your legs are banked up.
Fuck me.
Your mobile suit
That's
is
a
at it.
comedy of errors.
SOS
Alright.
from an ally.
Having a strong feeling this might not be the one.
Pick where and how you'll sort. Your ally's been knocked out. An ally. Good luck. Your ally's been knocked out.
Oh, they're all crunched up in there. You gotta be shitting me.
You've taken some serious damage.
Oh boy.
Firing's over.
So hopefully we can hold on to D here.
Practically. We captured a beacon. Good luck.
I don't know what that is that people are like actively ignoring, but like I'd appreciate it if they didn't. I keep in mind that the Vulcans on this thing are just kind of stupid. Unfortunately, they're gonna try and take D here because I don't know how many of us can actually just like throw out missiles. F.
We captured a beacon.
Dude, HK's him all the way down. Oh, that's like
Ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. Fire incoming. Your allies requesting to group up.
whoa, whoa, whoa. He's done.
You're up. An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile. This one's close, but there's still time. Your allies are not dead.
Brush.
This damage shouldn't affect you much. Your allies requesting to group up. An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
Come on, baby. Ideally, he would just come around this way. There he goes.
Fires be set up. Pull out of the hot zone. Long-range supporting fires coming.
Unfortunately, I think, yeah, literally both of them got iframes and didn't get killed.
Enemy mobile suit
One thing I'm gonna say, and I already said it earlier, I really wish that the shield beam on this readied up a little bit faster. Like, leading in with it's okay, but like the cycle is kind of shitty once you move to the other weapons on the neutral ground, and it's
just jumped up in priority.
mostly because
Requesting to group up.
even though you can get a stun with this, a lot of stuff tends to have damage control, so it takes like a little bit of the other burst.
To group up.
And besides that, keeping it trained on people, especially when you have a lot of shit on you, is rough. And it doesn't have a lot of output as a good finisher. In fact, I would almost say the Vulcans are a little bit more consistent in some cases.
Supporting fires been set up. Pull out of the hot zone. Long-range supporting fires coming in hot. An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile. Firing's over. That supporting fire wrecked the enemy. Your ally's been knocked out.
Ooh, baby. I'm in trouble now. Oh. I do appreciate that the shield's a shield, though. I will say that much.
Ally's been knocked
Oh, they might get us here at the end. Yeah, because one's gonna shove his face in there. Two is trying to hit him from the outside. Two is actually not that hurt. Oh, but he's about to be because that C1's on him. Yeah. Let me in.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Mobile suit.
No, no, no. Ooh. So a little sloppy, but I'll take that. The one thing for sure is that it is pretty flexible as a suit. It definitely feels like a yellow camper, as people have been saying. As long as you have the coating, it can get away from a lot of situations, but once you lose it, oh boy. Although, to be fair, in a lot of instances, and maybe this is just a thing with me, but like, once you get piled on, you're just kind of in trouble. You'll get some final hits in if you get your iframes in time, but like, it's gonna be very few times where you lose it and are suddenly just in danger and kind of left dangling out there. Like, only really if you're in a more open map. Like, it'll be interesting once I get into this and do it maybe on impact or something, because then you'll have situations where you're just gonna get like blasted down at range and have more of a problem with that in terms of just not being able to clap back at everyone, because then your resistance will be all the way down.
Here are this battle's rewards.
But not too bad. Alright, that was our match, at least for now, in the Delta Gundam. I will say this is something that, in terms of that match, that's something I did pretty quick right after clan matches themselves. I felt like it was at least halfway decent, and we actually lost 2 matches beforehand. Before that, kind of still getting used to this thing. I do like the skill, although it does feel a little bit dangerous once you get a little bit low. Heaven forbid you actually escape something and still have to deal with them hitting you for immense amounts of bread. There were a lot of situations in there where I did get up and really could only just do like one last shot of indignation, because there's no way I was going to survive getting hit by much of anything. Although, to be fair, like I said before, a lot of those situations were pile-ons, and regardless, if I were to transform, I would have lost my, you know, my invincibility. There's a lot of things like that where, like, normal scenarios that you would die, you would just die in anyway in this suit. So that extra bit of vulnerability is kind of moot, just because of support things. But yeah, definitely try to take advantage of this thing's mobility, the fact that it can transform. Try to stay a little bit flexible. And for the love of God, because I even said it to myself during that match, remember the stun potential and output of these Vulcans. Even if they're not doing a whole lot to type disadvantage stuff, most people at those costs in terms of like generals, you can do at least 100 some odd to them while also getting that stun and just filling in the extra build up on people. I would say, honestly, even though it can be decent filler damage, don't rely too much on the burst down as a follow-up thing. It's a bit of a bitch. I kind of wish that it had more output in general. It kind of irks me that it has such a hard time finishing suits. You'd almost be better off just using these and just keeping, you know, on boost or a little bit more mobile. If you had the time after you do some of your initial stuns in output, try to get back onto one of these just so that you can ensure the kill. And also, I guess, if you're really particularly bossy, I don't like doing it too much just because of that lack of priority, but the combo in this and the fact that you have a little bit of reach for that downswing, which can do some good damage, means that if you're cheeky and if you're just walking up on people with like the old, you know, that and then the 2-piece and then you just... you might be okay. Honestly, I probably should have just went with the neutral there. But you get the idea. It is doable. Not suggestible, but doable. And you can just peace out into the sunset. So overall, pretty typical. I'm a little on the fence about it at 600. This feels like it kind of answers some of the issues that people have with the C1 on occasion if they don't particularly run it super aggressive, just because C1 literally has like a devastating combo that's literally like 2 things and that's about it. There are some people that argue back and forth about whether or not you should really go in super hard with the because it also has melee combo controller and the same kind of similar thing going on. And there are some people like, yeah, you gotta run it aggressive and do all this other shit, and other people are like, but the regular combo is fine. It's kind of just a waste of time. So I don't know how they would feel about it on this by comparison. But I'd say it's okay. Deep down, I think what I want is just a support Rizal. There is the Rizal that has the super pack or a support pack on it, essentially. In fact, there's two configurations. There's an A and B pack for that. So I definitely want the Rizal Defensor. Hopefully that'll come out around maybe this cost, if not a little bit lower. I would assume since the Rizal is the 600. But if it did, it would mean that it would be in direct competition of this suit, and I kind of wonder which one would come out on top with or without that beam coating. Ultimately, even at this cost, Super and some of the other bigger, obvious like support mainstays are still going to be ruling the roost. But if you like something that's a little bit more flexible, can transform and do your dirt, and you're kind of tired of the C1 for whatever reason, as well in terms of transformable stuff, this is a decent pick. You can definitely do a lot of run and gun. Just kind of get out there, do your burst down, and then back up behind your team. If you want to be a little cheeky, they let you do that with the combo controller. It feels like it's kind of middle of the pack in terms of all that. There's obviously going to be a few people that are super cracked with this thing, especially if they're Delta Gundam fans or just love the cheeky line in general. But seeing how they do the beam coating in this makes it very obvious as to why they didn't put this on other suits, because especially the regular Shiki, considering that it's actually just a raid, losing your beam resistance at 550 and up while you're in the middle of the pack getting potentially bursted down on by a bunch of generals and shit, not great. Don't want to have that happen. So it's kind of for the best that it got left on a support. Although, to be honest, them giving it the extra, them adjusting it to be a little bit more advantageous will be kind of neat. I wouldn't really mind it having that resistance on top of some other things, and maybe even sacrificing some of the extra resistance just for the sake of it not setting your shit to 0 once you hit half health. But we'll see what happens. If this has a bit of a rough time statistically, they might do some adjustments, so we'll see. But for now, I'd say it's more than serviceable. Another kind of bait banner, to be honest, because I feel like there's a fair amount of people who are fans of this line of suits and stuff, so they definitely probably pulled the trigger. But would I really say this is a crazy pick for 600 for clans? Not really, but it's doable. So we'll probably see it out there. I don't know if we'll really see it in droves, but you know, it is what it is. But that is the Delta Gundam in a nutshell for now. If I get some better matches and stuff, I'll definitely put them up on the YouTube channel. And also, we do typically stream clans on YouTube as well as Facebook. So let me know if you guys want to see some other streams on YouTube as well, and what kind of content you would want to see. Because I am interested in at least trying out to do some more of that, because it is nice to have stuff like that on the channel. But that'll be all for now. So until next time, this is Goose on the 13th. I'll talk to you all next time.